Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull.
But I'm being honest. I thought Yair looked really sharp. He looked really good with his striking and everything. There was this whole fight comes down to this. Look, if you're Patricio Pitbull and you're coming into the UFC and you're fighting Yair, you have got to throw. You have got to have output. You got to have volume going his way. And he didn't. And that was the biggest. He was looking for the big shots. He landed a couple of good shots. It's not that he didn't, but Yair landed some good shots himself. And even when you know Yair is getting blocked, the kicks that he's throwing, you know, they're looking good, even though it's hitting the arm and it shouldn't really count, but it does because they hear it and they'll look and say, I think it touched a little bit of the body. They're going to give it credit. And, you know, he just fought a smarter fight than Patricio. And it was, you know, Patricio was in that position where, you know, again, first time in the UFC, he looked calm.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he didn't. Didn't look like he really got out of breath in any point, and you know, anything like that. And part of it was he didn't do enough to put himself in that position to be out of breath. You know, there was a couple times he started to press on him hard, but he backed off of it, you know, pretty quick, and he just didn't do enough to win that fight.
So I'm going to go back on something I said on Tuesday because we had this conversation about Aaron Pico being able to fight Evloev, as everyone keeps pointing out the way that I was saying Evloev, and everyone's like, no, it's Evloev. So I'll fix it for you guys. Okay, thanks for the what do they when they write it out?
Thank you for the pronunciation.
Yeah, what is it called? Phonetically. They write it out phonetically. Someone did it a couple times in there, and I was like, okay, so now I remember it.
So they just went EVOEV.
Ev, E-V, and then L-O, and then whatever.
E-V-L-O-E-V.
Anyways, it was, and I said, hey, Pico should fight Evloev. And then they were like, and people were like, hey, bagging on me in the comments. You're always saying, he needs one more fight before he gets this and that. I'm like, look, stylistically, I thought, because everyone also thought that Pico couldn't wrestle. People in the comments are like, what are you talking about? Evloev's going to out wrestle Pico and he's going to do this. And I'm like, gosh, guys. Oh my God. I also said it'll be a good wrestling match. Pico may get taken down, but I think also too, he'll be able to take down Evloev. Yeah. Bottom line is tonight was a reminder that when it's your first fight in the UFC, you need to get a fight under your belt. Yair to me was the worst matchup for Patricio for his first fight into the UFC. But I just know Patricio. He wants to fight the best guys, and he wants to prove that he can be there. He's always been that way. Conversations with him, talking with him, training with him, all of those things. I know exactly how he is. And so when they called and said Dana, and Dana said he called him, and he said, okay, I'll fight whoever. And they gave him the worst matchup you could possibly give him. The speed, the kicks, those type of things, longer, taller, all of those things he's very dangerous. That's no excuse, though. You've got, like you said, he's got to throw. You cannot win a fight unless you throw. But I also want to go back and be like, hey, towards the end in Bellator, it was very clear that they were afraid of him. Like, he didn't have to be super aggressive. He didn't have to, because he knew that when they did step in, he was a little bit faster. He had power that they had to respect. And you saw it tonight a little bit with Yair Rodriguez, too. Anytime I got into boxing range, Yair was like, I got to get out of here, and he wanted to stay in the kicking range, which was very smart on his part. Very smart. Right. I was surprised that Patricio didn't make adjustments, and because he was only throwing 1s, 2s, no more than 3s. The way you beat Yair is by throwing 3s and 4s. That's how you beat him. And that's how Volk beat him. That's how other guys have been able to beat him before in the past. You gotta swarm him and be able to hit him with some shots, to make him respect you, and then he'll start to kind of wilt a little bit and fall back a little bit. I'm not saying you're going to stop him. I'm simply saying that's how you start to get to him. Korean Zombie was not having his way with him, but was winning on all the cards.
That was a great fight.
It was, but Zombie was up.
Zombie was up
3 or 4 rounds. He was up that fight.
He was up.
But yeah,
he was up until there was 5 seconds left.
Yeah. And so Patricio, to me, there's guys for him still to fight. But this was a good eye-opening experience for me when I was thinking about how we talked about Pico last week, and I was like, yeah, give him this fight. And then I thought back, too. Eddie Alvarez lost his first fight against Cowboy Cerrone in the UFC. Yep. And Eddie's fucking fantastic. Then he went on to be champion. Mm-hmm. Quentin Jackson, I think he lost his first fight in the UFC.
No.
No, who did he?
His first fight was Marvin Eastman.
That's right. That's right. So he beat Marvin, but he didn't look great in that fight.
No,
he didn't look great in that fight. So my point is that when you got guys that come in from other organizations, we've seen it too, also from UFC to Bellator, and we've seen it sometimes. Look at the guys that all left UFC, went to PFL. Majority of them all lost, and it's just one of those things where that first fight in a new organization doesn't feel like home yet. You've got to make those adjustments. You've got to make it feel like you belong in there. And so it doesn't matter who you are or what organization you go to. It's never easy. Never easy. So I give Patricio a lot of credit. There are fights for him still to be had there. If you want to say Dan Ige would be a great fight. I'd love that fight. I'd love to see the Jose Aldo fight. I'd like to see the Calvin Kattar fight. Those are all fights that I'd love to see. Rob Font is Rob. No, Rob's at 35.
No, different one.
Yeah, Rob's at 35. Sorry, but I'd like to see Calvin Kattar is at 45. Let's see that fight. There's fights, the stand-up banger fights that we can at least get out of this short stint that he's going to have. He's 38 years old. This is the short stint he's going to have there. Let's get the best fights out of him as we can. The Yair fight to me was probably the worst matchup he could have gotten. And it was. It's the reach, the speed, the kicking. Those are the things that I thought were going to give him a hard time. Just the things that Yair can pull out of his ass is just fucking spectacular. No one ever doubts his ability, man. He's awesome when it comes to what he can do inside that cage.
He's incredibly talented.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his skill set is wickedly good. The way he throws his front leg kick, the way that he sets up the spinning attacks, he doesn't lead with a whole lot of information that he just does things really well.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Yeah. This episode is brought to you by BetUS. Make sure you guys YouTube 150 for the promo code. Also, Element, use the link in the descriptions down below. Any product you buy from there, they will send you a bonus package of product if you use our link down below. Element's amazing, man. I love it. And I want to say thank you, man. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support us.